We chose Oso's frozen yogurt for our business, and in the back we have Staley. She is the owner of Oso's frozen yogurt. Her and her mom run the business together. And I'm Jenna Lee Alexander.
Katie Compton. And I'm Natalie Garnett. So we chose Oso's because, well, one reason is I worked there this summer and had a really good experience working there. And we all really love it as our frozen yogurt shop in Waco. In May 2011, Staley Levy and her mom, Jan Briles, opened Oso's together. They'd always had a dream to open a business together, but they weren't really sure what it was. At one time, they went into a small frozen yogurt shop in Louisville, and they really liked how it looked, and they said, this is really something we could do. I think maybe it was Yo Dreams, I don't know, our competitor. But they decided it was something that was really doable for them. They decided not to do a franchise because that's a huge starting cost. They thought they could have a little more flexibility, creativity, if they made their own frozen yogurt shop. So they opened Oso's on the corner of Mary and Franklin. It's near Olive Branch and a bunch of other locally owned businesses. They feature 8 rotating flavors of soft serve. Right now they have pumpkin, so you should all go try it. And they're really excited about being in the strip of shops that they're in because they're all locally owned as well, which is really good for the Waco economy and the growing downtown area. Oso's really loves Baylor athletics. Staley's dad is Art Briles, who's the Baylor coach, and so they love to support Baylor through their social media, and within the store they always have Baylor calendars and Baylor posters, and they're really trying to figure out how do we draw in more of the Baylor audience into Oso's. There are a lot of different froyo shops in Waco, as we all know, but Oso's is one that's really conveniently located for Baylor students. It's just a matter of getting the word out. So we went through and figure out the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for Oso's. We found that a major strength was their Baylor affiliation and love for Baylor. They have a convenient location in downtown Waco, which is really growing, drawing people, and is also close to Baylor campus. They have local ownership and family operation, which is something people really want to support, usually the small businesses, and like the idea of a mother-daughter working together. And then they also have a bunch of regular customers. Actually, while I worked there was this one man who would come in every time, probably in his 70s, and he would get exactly $6. Is it 6? He'd get exactly $6 somehow. He would come in with $6 in cash, exactly, and he would never go over. And it was usually right on. It was really amazing. But there's just a lot of regular customers, people that live in the area, live in the lofts that are close by, who would come in, sometimes daily basis, but a lot of times every week, because they really loved Oso's. A few weaknesses we recognized was it is a new business. So with any new business, there's the starting cost and a matter of really getting yourself out there, especially when there's those other franchises around. They have kind of earlier closing hours, which is part of being a small business as well. It's a little harder to expand those as much. They have a small social media following, and the website, like Staley told us, is just kind of what they could get for now. With starting up everything, it wasn't a huge priority. Some opportunities that we see is to really engage social media and use it really well to expand their marketing and expand what people know about them and really engage Baylor students. And then we also found that when they opened, didn't get a chance to have the ribbon cutting ceremony because there were a lot of other things going on. It had taken a lot longer than they expected, but they still actually have the right to have that ribbon cutting ceremony from the Chamber of Commerce. So we thought that could be a good opportunity for them to still do that as a delayed ribbon cutting and get the word out more. A threat that we found was local franchises that are in the area, not franchises. And because franchises do have that money behind them and they have the recognizable name, they can be found in bigger cities, and a lot of times they have just more resources than smaller businesses can have. So that can be a threat. And then also, as we know, our infamous locally owned competitor, Yo Dreams, that's opening up even closer to Baylor campus and also has the family aspect to it. the current PR efforts that OSOS has in place, is that cute little girl in her picture. But they do have a Twitter page and a Facebook page. The Facebook page, they've actually done a really good job getting consistent content up and creating the conversation. The Twitter page, I think, has kind of not been a top priority in the middle of, two people starting a business, owning it, conducting everything that's going on, and even maybe not being that familiar with Twitter. I think it can be something that can be kind of daunting to think about keeping up with regularly. Yeah, they have that, and then they've also done some print advertisement with the Waco Trib, the Wacoan Magazine, the Lariat. They've done the little coupons in there. They currently have some 10% discount flyers that they pass out to people, a lot of word of mouth, and as well as they have punch cards, so every time you buy a cup of Osos, you get a punch. We looked at on Storify, trying to find some stories about Osos. Really the only story we could find that mentioned Osos was the one that Yo Dreams actually presented about how many frozen yogurt shops are moving into Waco, and I think it was when U-Swirl came in and someone wrote an article saying like, oh my goodness, like just another frozen yogurt shop. But we also found that on Waco Fork, there were a lot of really good reviews about Osos, so that means there is that online presence of a lot of positive feedback.
Good.
The mission statement, there was a different mission statement kind of on the website, but I don't think a clear one had been formulated yet. So we created this one. It says, family owned and operated, Osos offers a variety of traditional and exclusive flavors that are the freshest and creamiest in town. Conveniently located in downtown Waco, our Baylor family is dedicated to providing a welcoming, comfortable atmosphere close to campus with free Wi-Fi and a pet-friendly patio. So we really wanted to emphasize with that just the key factors that we were talking about, like the family ownership, the local ownership, the products that we're giving that's really excellent, the great environment, and the location were all included in that. Our key publics for Osos we found were Baylor students and faculty. Osos actually offers a 10% discount to Baylor students and faculty as a way to draw them in. Downtown Waco, which includes the businesses in the area and people that live in downtown Waco. We have local families. Staley was saying that with some of the schools that are downtown, Osos will be like a popular carpool destination to stop and get some froyo on the way home from school. As well as Waco visitors, people that maybe driving down I-35 and find it on their phone and come down, or people that come for the convention center, which is right across the street and brings in thousands of people regularly. The competitors we had, the major ones we identified were Three Spoons, which is the most prominent franchise probably in Waco as it's been here the longest, U-Swirl, which is gaining a lot of popularity, and Yo Dreams, which recently opened. Those are our main competitors.
Okay, so a lot of our campaign is directed towards Baylor students because Osos really wants to get a bigger following from our community here on campus. So most Baylor students are on, if not multiple, at least one of all of these social media sites. And so we worked with the Facebook and Twitter just to kind of update it, and earlier we had our Twitter directory, so we Osos done a really good job of following Baylor activities and a lot of different organizations on campus. So we just kind of updated the Facebook, and we created a Pinterest because Osos is locally owned. We kind of thought that the Pinterest would make it more of like, this is our community and this is what we're doing here in the shop, and we have like the music we're listening to now and things we can put in the store and what our favorite toppings are, and then even a board of people that come in and we can take pictures and pin them on our board.
Great.
It just creates like more of a local family appeal. We also created an Instagram, and so if you're on that, you can see pictures of, oh, we just got our pumpkin flavor in, come into the store, and we can post a picture of it instantly, and then link that to Facebook and Twitter as well. We have, here's the Twitter, and let's see, what else do we have? Our Clout Score. It's a little small there, but you can see we started at 28 and luckily we got all the way up to 45. So
That's great.
we thought that was a really nice improvement.
Very
And
nice.
then here are just a few ads that we made to feature on Facebook.
Good.
So a lot of social media, but we really feel that's going to be the best way to reach the Baylor students here. And then we also created a Hootsuite. So here we have all these scheduled tweets, and it's just kind of an idea of what they can go off of. Like if there's a game or something that's going on at Baylor, they can schedule a tweet for it, and then they don't have to worry about it, the actual day of. Like for example, we had some for Friday for Parents Weekend. Like, are your parents in town? Come down to Osos. So just a really like Baylor affiliated site, and then even things like we were closed, so come on in today and get froyo. Let's see. So. Sorry. Okay, so our main goals are to just increase awareness of Osos in the Waco community, and especially at Baylor, like I was saying. But we want to make it the place to go for this community, the yogurt shop. And we think with the local appeal and the Baylor affiliation, that's really doable. But mainly, we want to increase all social media presence because we feel like that's the main way to get people in the door and using the coupons and coming to get the student discounts. So our campaign is planned over a year. So our objectives are to increase it by 20% our revenue, and we want to increase 25% of Baylor students, and then one of our main objectives is to increase Twitter followers and Facebook likes to 1,000 within the next year. And by doing that, we just want to create different information pieces we can put in local businesses downtown and buildings on campus that a lot of students go to. We want to have a feature story in the Lariat, and then have an official ribbon cutting. So this is our timeline of our efforts. We all started in early September, and we just met with Staley and talked to her and her mom about what they really wanted to do, what their goals were, and then from there we kind of took access to all the social media sites and started planning where we would go from there with what we wanted to tweet, who we wanted to follow, and then we looked at our SWOT analysis, and come October we did video interviews, we discussed a possible ribbon cutting, kind of planned out what that ceremony would look like, and then we created a year-long calendar, which I think this one. So we made it month by month, and each month there's kind of either a holiday or one thing that you can center it around. For example, October, right now they're having their breast cancer awareness, and so you can come in and donate when you buy frozen yogurt. So we made the calendar around October, kind of centered around that and around Halloween. And through our calendar, we also created contests like send us your Halloween costume, and we'll give someone free frozen yogurt. Or in December, they'll be closed for the winter time. Or in February, we have like Valentine's Day special. So bring your date in, and you guys can get 10% discount, something like that. So the calendar is just kind of planned out for the next year, so they just have something to go off of, and different contests and just promotions that they can really grab the public's attention with. And then this is our budget. Like I said, it's planned over the next year. It's really flexible. The Wix is free right now, but if you want to buy the domain, we kind of factored that price in. Same with Hootsuite, and then flyers. Anything we want to print out, that's another flexible cost. How many you want to print out, if you even want to print them out. We have these scratch cards, so those we figured in, and then Facebook advertising, promotions, all that stuff. So the budget looks a little high, close to $850, but it's over a year long, and it's really whatever give and take you want to do.
It's great.
I think we have one more. Okay, so this is our evaluation, and we just thought, how can we see if our PR campaign is working? So we want to look at the return rate of coupons and discounts given, examine the number of Twitter followers and Facebook that we have an actual relationship with, seeing the interaction with them, how many likes have increased, and then look at the amount of people actually participating in these social media contests. We created a questionnaire for OSOS to do a self-evaluation just to see, did we accomplish what we set out to do? And will we continue to do this, just to see where they are after a year. And then we also created I'm not sure if it's on here. Which one? Oh, well, we have a self-evaluate, or a customer evaluation too, but that was just kind of to pass out to Baylor students and say, have you heard of OSOS, what makes you go in?
Mm-hmm.
But
Might take a minute for these to load, but On the left are actually photos that I believe Staley took. Was it just on your cell phone that you had on Facebook? And I added them in here, even though they were on a cell phone. I mean, there's some really adorable pictures of
Quality is
just,
good.
yeah, the quality is not great, but just good pictures of, you know, kids enjoying their yogurt, because unfortunately I had to work around my class schedule, so when I went in there, it wasn't their, you know, after school time when you see a lot of kids. But then here are some photographs that I took just in the shop, and just figured they'd be great things for Pinterest. Any of these can be taken and posted on social media. Some of these you can even find on our Instagram if you look at it. And they're just, that's one thing that I think that we should kind of push for them to use is, you know, quality photographs that can be used in advertisements, anything like that. So there are a lot, so we won't go through all of them. But you can just kind of see the shop. In pictures like these, you can see the pink they have here in the background. That's actually what they decorated for October for breast cancer awareness. There might be another picture of those in there. But anywho, then press and print. Right here is a news release that we have, and it would be for their ribbon cutting that we hope that will be conducted eventually, because the Chamber of Commerce will still do that for them. And we were thinking maybe this one's written for maybe having it done at the 2-year anniversary, just a delayed ribbon cutting. And one thing we did talk about was really pulling in the Baylor audience. So we were thinking that Staley and her family, they have a really strong Baylor connection, that maybe this ribbon cutting, we can invite athletes to it. You know, we would definitely have to follow NCAA guidelines. I know you can't pay athletes to come to a promotional event, but inviting them, having them there, saying, you know, members of the Baylor community will be there, I think would really draw people in. And we also talked about having like a 10% discount all day on the day of the ribbon cutting. And we would invite the press, I mean, people from Waco Trib, people from the Lariat, things like that. We also talked about, well, here's a flyer that we have that we were saying could go up around Baylor, could be passed out at Baylor, or even local businesses that would like to support OSOs as well. That's one thing we're really pushing in this campaign, is the fact that OSOs is local, and you know, they're a family business and they're a really big part of the Waco community. And so we were kind of really pulling in support local. And then another thing we talked about was actually having talking to Focus magazine, you know, the Baylor magazine here, and they're always looking for great story ideas. They're always looking for, you know, involvement in the community. So we were thinking maybe if we could pitch that to them, getting a reporter, a photographer out there, then you have a free article, and something that most Baylor students and a lot of the Waco community will see. Here's a sidebar that was created, if it will load, that has a few quotes on here, just what people are saying about OSOs, and it's just a little eye grabber to maybe draw people in. And here's another thing that Natalie actually made these scratch-offs, and I thought it was a really great idea. It's something to put in people's hands. On the back of it, it has our social media accounts, how to contact OSOs, that sort of thing. And on the front, it's kind of like those fun scratch-off lottery tickets where you scratch off and, you know, you may win a free year of Froyo. So that's just another promotional thing that we did that we thought would just spread the word about OSOs. And here are the websites. Before, if we can pull this up, you know, one thing that I actually thought was pretty strong on here, where they did have a lot of photographs that kind of gave you a feel for the environment, the atmosphere. However, it's just not very professional. Staley, was it your sister-in-law? Sister graciously, you know, did this with her free time, and but it just needs to be updated a little bit. It needs to be a little more professional. You know, the font maybe could be a little more professional. If you click on the flavors part, you know, they do update it and have the current flavors up here, but it could just be a little more easy to read, a little more organized. Again, here are some topping examples, and then their smoothie, I thought their smoothie page was actually organized pretty well. But then if we go back to here, this is what the website that we created. It's currently under jenaliealexander.wix.com, but that can definitely be changed. It states that it's family owned and locally operated. We ironically use somewhat the same template as Yo Dreams, so I tried to change it up a little bit actually, but we have our mission statement.
You can't tell, but it's the same.
You can't? Okay, good. We actually had the same words right here, so I'm sorry, so I changed that. But we have our mission statement there, contact information down there at the bottom. About us, this is the same thing. Natalie kind of covered the history, kind of explaining their ties to the Baylor and the Waco community, kind of giving it that home, feel, make people want to come in and support Osos. Current flavors, just a little bit easier to read here. We still have the toppings that you can scroll through and see, kind of entice you, make you want to come in. And again, current flavors here, it's really easy to update on Wix. Smoothie menu, again the same thing, and it talks about the Rock and Wellness protein powder that they sell. If you click on this, it actually takes you to that website, so you can maybe get more information about that. Another thing that might draw you in to come to Osos. And then we wanted to have a gallery to be able to share photos, just again show that they're a part of the community. They're different than a franchise because they can really, decorate how they want to, and make it really more of a community feel. So, and then there's show more. You can go through and look at all of those. Here's what I was talking about with the breast cancer awareness. They've got their pink up here. And then contact, I made the contact page a lot easier to use. Right up here, this is actually on every page where you can click, go straight to the Facebook, go straight to Twitter. But here, you want to type them in email. It's really easy. Right here, it even shows a map, how to get to Osos, where it's located. And then again, down at the bottom, you click on these links and it goes directly to their social media.
That's good.
And so that is the website we created for them. And then our last bit is a PSA that we put together.
Osos is a local frozen yogurt shop that is family owned and operated, and we are dedicated to keeping it that way.
Yeah, you just have to let it buffer, yeah.
And operated, and we are dedicated to keeping it that way. We pride ourselves in serving the freshest and creamiest yogurt in town. You can't find this at a franchise. Our shop is located in the heart of downtown Waco and in close distance to the Baylor campus. Come by and enjoy our yogurt, free Wi-Fi, and pet-friendly patio. We care about our yogurt, and we care about our customers. Because we can. Support local, support Osos.
It's buffering again, but that's about the end of it. The last part just shows their email and how to contact them. So, yeah, it's being difficult. Oh wait, there we go. That's the end.
Okay, good.
So yeah, and that's the end.
All right, good job. You want to call her up to the picture? Now we'll take a picture of you guys. If she's not camera shy.